Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some really interesting stuff to go over for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. We have some new potential DLC leaks and also some scrapped Pokemon from the Generation 9 games as well. There's a lot to break down today, so if you're excited for the video, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, we have a few things to go over by Riddler Khu before we get into the DLC leaks and everything like that. So he tweeted this out saying 2023 projects are so cool. Now, we're very much expecting DLC to be announced for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet this year. We do have Pokemon Day in February, which is usually accompanied with a Pokemon Presents, and during that Pokemon Presents they usually drop some big information. I mean, Scarlet and Violet themselves were dropped during this year's presentation, which again was still mind-blowing, but here we are. So yeah, expecting some really cool stuff for Scarlet and Violet in 2023, but there's also still games such as, you know, Detective Pikachu 2, which is slated to be apparently coming out next year. We've also got, you know, Let's Go Johto, which a lot of rumors are happening about. We also have another Legends Arceus game kind of thing. There's a lot of rumors kind of speculating on these other games, but because we had like BDSP and Legends Arceus in the same kind of like year, I know obviously one came out a year before technically, but in the same kind of, I guess, gaming year, anything's possible. So we could be seeing more than one like project from Pokemon at any given time, which is still crazy. The next thing to go over is this. If I post this now, did you get what I mean? So he posted 3 love hearts, one being red, one being purple, and then one being orange. So the red and the purple are obviously for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, and then the orange potentially could mean one of many things. It could be the 3rd legendary, which is apparently coming out in the DLC. It could mean that we're only getting 1 DLC pack, which I don't think is going to be the case. I'm expecting these games to have like 2 or 3 DLC packs because it's literally a massive open world Pokemon game. So yeah, it could be like pretty much either of those things, to be fair, or even like a 3rd game, which I can't see happening at all because, you know, the leakers have already said we're getting DLC, so I don't see how we can really have both DLC and a 3rd game. It just wouldn't really make any sense. So I'm thinking this is about the 3rd legendary. Maybe it's just like the color of it or something. Maybe it's going to be orange. That's just, I don't know, it just makes the most sense. Let's move on to other DLC leaks though. So this was posted by PokeExperto saying Nintendo Creatures and Game Freak have registered dozens of new Pokemon names in Japan. You can see them in the images, where are the spoilers and stuff if you speak Japanese. So basically, yeah, they just copyrighted a ton of new Pokemon names for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Of course, the games are out now and all the Pokemon are like revealed and everything. But what's interesting is there's a name in this kind of list that isn't a new Pokemon. So that means that it's most likely going to be a new Pokemon that we get further down the line, potentially in the DLC. So this was tweeted out by Pokesutami, who is one of the very great translators in the community, and she posted this saying, you know, this was pointed out to me. Here is the possible meaning of the name. Sorry, it's not detailed. She's been busy. So Uneru is to kind of twist, to surge, think rigid, or to move or go with a smooth up and down motion. Minamo is not the common writing, but a way to say water's surface. So possibly she thinks it could be a new water, cat, or dog paradox. So of course we've been introduced to Paradox forms in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We know that we're getting Paradox Suicune and Paradox Virizion in DLC. But this could be another new Paradox form. It wouldn't surprise me if we do get other Paradox forms in the games because it's such a massive part of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and of like the story and everything like that. So yeah, I'd be very, very surprised to not see extra Paradox forms, like I say, in the DLC. And this could be what, like, this could be a couple of them. It could be like a cat or a dog, a water type Pokemon or something like that. But as again, we've got Jean here saying, you know, double checked all the names. Yes, all names showed are Gen 9 new Pokemon except this phrase. So again, this phrase is something new. You know, it's a new Pokemon name. It's just not a Pokemon that exists in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet yet. Again, it could be like a new mythical Pokemon, like a Zarude or a Manaphy or something like that gets dropped later. It gets revealed in like a movie or something, just like Zarude was. But I don't know. I'm thinking it's more like DLC kind of territory, really. We also have this by Soul Silverheart saying, you know, very interesting. In a slew of copyrighted Generation 9 Pokemon names, it looks like there's one we aren't sure about which Pokemon it belongs to. So spoilers, obviously. I mean, I'm recording this before Pokemon Scarlet and Violet come out, but obviously the day this goes up, Scarlet and Violet will be out, so there's not really any spoilers anymore. But either way, Sutami here believes it could be a certain Paradox Water Beast, which makes sense because this name would be for a new DLC Pokemon. So again, a lot of other people thinking it is potentially a new DLC Pokemon. I think that's kind of just where everything is pointing to, really. I mean, I don't know what else it could be apart from, like I say, a mythical Pokemon. And then we have this thread here as well. Now that's just about like the new potential copyrighted Pokemon. Well, it's not really potential because it is literally a new Pokemon that's been copyrighted, but it could belong to DLC. So that's that portion of the video. Now we're going to go over potentially scrapped Pokemon. So this was posted by Flowers Blooms, saying this is difficult because I'm still avoiding spoiler talk until Friday, but Pokemon Scarlet and Violet included its list of Pokemon code names. 2 of them do not match, and it appears a Wiglet style of Magikarp and Gyarados were cut from the game if you look 4 and 5 slots away from the last slot. So as Wiglet got like a new kind of form in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Wiglet, obviously, it's a new form of Diglett, or I guess a convergent species or whatever. We basically, in the coding, there's also another style of that kind of form for Magikarp and Gyarados. Now, we know that Magikarp and Gyarados are already in the game, but basically this could mean that they were also expected to get a convergent species, or whatever you want to call it, way back when. So specifically not saying what replaced them, and I would avoid checking the replies to this, but this is very interesting because we may have seen what Oka Kingu looked like in Pokemon Legends Arceus. Hopefully it and OK Gyarados show up in DLC someday, but for now these are cut Pokemon. So a Gyarados form and a Magikarp form are cut from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, which is kind of crazy because like a new form of Magikarp, I mean, would it have still been like useless as normal Magikarp, or would it have been able to get like better attacks and better stats and stuff? I would have loved to have seen a new form of Gyarados, though. I know we got Mega Gyarados and stuff, but obviously these aren't placeholder slots either. For those wondering, this situation is more like if a theoretical and not a spoiler Mega Inkay was called Magikarp internally. So yeah, this isn't like a placeholder or anything. Like placeholders are usually just put there because a new Pokemon is going to get put there. That's just what a placeholder is, but this isn't a placeholder. This is literally a cut Pokemon. And so Silver Art saying, you know, a very interesting discovery. Definitely read this thread. It could mean nothing, but looks like there might have been a cut Gyarados convergent species Pokemon. At least in name, it was found in the Pokemon name files. Maybe we could see this line in the DLC. To be honest, I'm not a big fan of the convergent species Pokemon though. So again, it's been cut from the main series game, but again, it could just be another DLC Pokemon. And then we also have Pokesutami going on saying, but who knows, Oka Kingu and Oka Gyarados could be epic convergent species Pokemon. A worm version would have made sense, but I think they have had too many of those already this gen. This could have been a hint in Pokemon Legends Arceus that now went unused. He then goes on to say, this is a huge point by Uraiden. So Uraiden here says, well, that would explain why Tentacool and Tentacruel aren't in. Their regional fakes weren't originally planned. So with Wiglet, we of course also have Diglett and Dugtrio in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, but with the new forms of Tentacool and Tentacruel, we don't have Cantonian forms of those Pokemon in the game. So maybe it was literally like a last minute decision and they just didn't have enough time to pop Tentacool and Tentacruel into the actual games. And then he goes on to say, you know, this is a huge point. This actually 99% confirms it for me now. The Tentacool line, unlike the normal Diglett line, is not in Paldea. This further hints that they weren't meant to be the original convergency species Pokemon introduced in these games. My guess is they cut the Gyarados line to save it for DLC. So again, one or two things could be happening here. We could have just lost completely this new convergent species of Magikarp and Gyarados, or it could just be present in the DLC. We already know that both like forms can coincide in the same kind of region. We got Wiglet and Diglett, so we know it can happen. So even though that Magikarp and Gyarados are already in the game, it doesn't rule out the fact that they could also get a convergent species, as well as the fact that the code is already in the game for Gyarados. Like, it's literally already been in the game. It's not a placeholder. It was supposed to happen. So whether it does happen in the DLC or whether they've just completely cut it, who knows? But there was or is still going to be a convergent species of Gyarados, which I'm really looking forward to seeing if it hasn't been cut. Gyarados is a really cool Pokemon, and I think, yeah, I think a new form of it would look insane. So That's basically all of the latest information for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, all the DLC stuff and everything like that. Let me know your thoughts on everything we covered today. What do you think is going to come out in 2023 for Pokemon as a whole? Do you think we're going to get Scarlet and Violet DLC, Detective Pikachu 2, everything like that? Pokemon Sleep as well. No idea what's happening with that. What do you think Riddler Khu means by this orange love heart? And also, what do you think this new potential Pokemon could be as well? Do you think it is going to be a cat or a dog paradox Pokemon, or do you think it's going to be something completely different? And then also, what are your thoughts on this cut Gyarados convergent species? Do you think it is going to just be completely cut from the game, or do you think it will still arrive in the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? My fingers are still crossed with the DLC, but we'll have to wait and see. But we already know that we are getting Virizion and Suicune for the DLC and the third legendary, so they've all already been like leaked. It's just this last well, not the last, but it's just this other Pokemon that could also potentially be there. But let me know your thoughts on all of that. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500. It really helps out. Again, leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we covered in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. It's everything from me, though. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.